اهلا بيكم اعزائي مشاهدين قناه لوجوس. احنا النهارده موجودين في قناه لوجوس انا واصدقائي. انا داليا شحاتة انرولد ايجنت او محاسبه ضرايب، وكمان مقدمه برنامج مصدر موثوق في قناه الكرمه. وانا بحب اشكر قناه لوجوس اللي هي اتاحت لنا الفرصه انا واصدقائي اللي هنتكلم مع بعض دلوقتي ان احنا نيجي ونتكلم عن القوانين الجديده للبيرنتال رايتس او اللي هي حقوق الاباء اللي هم ابتدت الولايه تاخدها مننا وتخليها حقوق الولايه مش حقوق الاباء. احب اشكر قناه لوجوس جدا كل العاملين فيها، وشكر خاص لابونا القمص بشوي عزيز ان هو فعلا مهتم جدا بالموضوع وادانا الفرصه دي ان احنا نوصل الكلام ده لكل مشاهدين قناه لوجوس، وكمان عايزين نوصلها لكل العرب في كاليفورنيا. الكلام ده مهم جدا ومحتاجين ان احنا نبقى ايد واحده فيه علشان نقدر ناخد او نقدر نوصل صوتنا لكل الجهات اللي احنا عايزين نوصل لها صوتنا. النهارده معايا صديقتي بتسيل بطرسة، لوسين، ومعانا جوردن هنري. هعرفكم بيهم اكتر بعد شويه، بس انا عايزه اشارك معاكم حاجه سريعه جدا. انا زيكم بالظبط سمعت عن القوانين الجديده اللي هي ضد الاباء او اللي بتدي حقوق للابناء ما ينفعش تديها لهم دلوقتي في السن اللي هم محددينه. هنتكلم طبعا مور ان ديتيلز بعدين. فانا سمعت القوانين وبصراحه زي معظمنا ما عملتش حاجه، لان كلنا واخدين ان احنا هنعمل ايه، القانون طلع او القانون هينزل، احنا ما عندناش درايه كافيه بالقوانين اللي بتطلع حوالينا. بس بصراحه كان ليا الشرف ان انا اعمل لقاء مع السيناتور تشوا بوج، واحنا بنتكلم السيناتور يعني هم دول اللي بيحطوا قوانين الولايه. فقلت لها انا بس عندي يعني سؤال كده، يعني البيرنتال رايتس اللي انتوا عمالين تاخدوها دي وتدمروها، يعني احنا مالناش حق نتكلم؟ حسيت قد ايه هي حزينه وقالت لا ليكوا حق ولازم تتكلموا. طبعا فرحت جدا وعرفت منها الطريق. هي قالت طبعا كل واحد يوصل صوته للسيناتور بتاع المنطقه بتاعته وتعرفوهم ان انتوا مش موافقين. اوكي، سالت كل السؤال اللي احنا كلنا بنساله، هل ده ليه نتيجه؟ يعني هل ده هيجيب نتيجه؟ هل ده ليه فايده ولا ايه؟ قالت لي بصي، لو ما جابش نتيجه طبعا ليه نتيجه وليه فايده، ان السيناتور بتاعك هيعرف ان انتوا مش موافقين عليه، مش موافقين على قراراته. لكن حتى لو ما جابش نتيجه دلوقتي اكيد هيجيب نتيجه بعدين، ممكن يمنع قوانين اوحش تكون عايزه تطلع، وان هم يعرفوا ان في ناس واقفه ممكن ده يقلل من القوانين الوحشه اللي جايه تاني. فربنا يدينا بركه وحكمه ان احنا فعلا نعمل اللي احنا لازم نعمله ونوصل صوتنا. النهارده الحلقه هتكون بالانجليزي لان طبعا شايفين ان انا معايا ضيوف امريكان، فالعربي هيبقى طبعا هحاول يعني هوقفهم كل شويه واترجم بالعربي. بس دي فرصه بقى ان انا اقول لكم حاجه، ما تخلوش اللغه تبقى عائق ان انت تحدد اهدافك وان انت تقول انا في بلد غريبه مش هقدر اخد حقوقي، مش هقدر اتكلم عن حقوقي. لا، اللغه عمرها ما كانت عائق، ليك حقوق ولازم تطالب بيها. على فكره الامريكان ابريشيت قوي الاكسنت بتاعنا واللغه بتاعتنا، بس انت لازم يعني تقدم اللي عندك، لازم تتكلم، تطلب حقوقك، تطالب بحقوق ولادك. ما تقولش اللغه بتاعتي وانا مش عارف اتكلم وانا الكلام ده. طبعا هترجم، بس حبيت اعرفكم ان النهارده الحلقه بالانجليزي، وانا فخوره ان انا فعلا كلنا لازم نبقى فخورين ان احنا اتعلمنا انجليزي واحنا كبار، كلنا ايميجرانت، كلنا جايين مهاجرين، واحنا ما اتولدناش هنا ولا اتعلمنا هنا. فدي فرصه انا كنت عايزه اقولها لكل الناس. طبعا ان انت مفيش حاجه في بلدك الجديده توقفك على انك توصل لهدفك او تدافع عن حقوقك وحقوق ولادك. النهارده هبتدي مع اصدقائي وتعالوا اعرفكم عليهم بقى. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation again for the second time and come here to share your experience and your what you have done to protect our kids. We will start by introducing ourselves and share what inspired us to take an action in our community. I will start with myself. Okay. write a big paragraph. Okay. Honestly, I have no younger kids, like mine, almost all adult. Not all of them, but almost adult. So when I heard about the new parental rights, I felt so sad, but I did nothing. I was watching, as many of our community,
Yes.
actually. So until I had the honor to interviewing the Senator Ochoa Bog, when I realized how big this issue was. I was inspired by what the senator said and felt like it was my responsibility to educate my community about this very important issue. The senator gave me hope. She did. And she gave me hope that our voices can be heard and can make a difference. And since then, that's what I have been doing. Okay. I had the pleasure of meeting you guys at the protest, and I was so inspired of each one of you. I am grateful that we are working to spread awareness about this very important issue. And that's it about me, and I'm so happy you are here with me today. We'll start introducing ourselves, and I will start with Lucine.
Sure. Dahlia, thank you for having us back again, and thank you for all the work you're doing with raising awareness in the community. Like you mentioned, I'm Lucine Kirikosian. I'm a mother of 3. 2 of my kids are in LAUSD, so LAUSD is the school district that I belong to. I started personally and got activated in June when we realized there would be a Pride Day assembly at our school. So we got word of that in mid-April maybe, and that's when the parents in that specific elementary school that belongs to LAUSD got together. We did petitions, we got 5 pictures, and our school has only 500 kids.
So before June, you don't know anything about that?
Not really, no. We were regular parents with full-time jobs, kids' activities after school, going on about our day. We were trusting the adults at school, thinking they have our best interests at heart. I had heard of, things that were happening, but when it doesn't affect your child, your school, it's not happening here. There's no way my school would do it. Well, it's happening everywhere. That's what at least I've realized after the fact. Again, I had heard, you see all the videos on social media, you're thinking school. Well, again, if public schools, it's happening in every single school. Yeah. We just don't know because that's the goal. They're keeping it away from the parents. Everything's being done secretly.
Yeah.
So that Pride Day assembly, again, it's an elementary school. So preschool to 5th graders are there, 4-year-old up until 10 years old. We didn't want that assembly.
How old are your kids?
My kids are 7, 5, and 1 years old. So the older 2, the 7 and the 5-year-old, attend Satico Elementary. And they had, again, kids as early as preschool attend the assembly where a book was read basically that says, once upon a time, families look like this. And it shows a father, mother, kids, and pets. But now families can look like this and, in all shapes and sizes. In general, this would have been fine, right? We all know that families come in different shapes and sizes. What bothered us was the discussion that they were going to have after the fact, where school officials were going to be answering questions from our kids. I don't know what my kid might ask after seeing that, right? What if they want to know how babies are born? And we're talking about 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. We wanted to be the ones as parents to have these important, sensitive, non-age appropriate, issues discussed in our homes when we find it appropriate, not on their times, not in that setting, and not by people we don't know. I don't know how the school officials are going to explain those topics to my kids. I want to do that. You know what I mean? As a parent, with my religious values, with my cultural values, the way I was taught by my parents. So we felt like we were stripped of all of that. So about 90% of the kids that day stayed home, again, as a protest, to walk out. The parents protested at the specific school. We got a lot of national attention, superintendent and all the board members, a a lot of people decided that it was important to come to our school that day.
So that was your first meeting?
Yeah, if we want to call it a meeting, it was our first protest.
Protest. Okay.
We were just surprised though when we got there, and we were met with not even, you
But
know.
I mean, have you ever attended any board meeting before?
Not before that, no, not at
okay.
all, not at all. And I didn't even feel the need, right? Because I'm thinking everything's great. Why would I go to a board meeting?
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize anything was really
Let me ask you,
affecting
Lucy,
us.
how did you know you can attend the board meeting? Because not that many knows that.
Sure. So Glendale Unified School District, their social media page had been doing a great job at showcasing just that you could go to board meetings and talk about it. So I knew that other school districts were doing it. I had never heard of LAUSD parents, you know, or seen anything happening as far as LAUSD. But I know it exists. I knew where the address was. I just, again, it hadn't dawned on me that there was a need to go. But yeah, I know smaller school districts, it's very common. You know, parents do go voice their concerns. With LAUSD, I think it's more of it's so big, it's so large that sometimes it could be a little bit intimidating. But after the fact, you know, now months after, I have gone to all of the board meetings that have taken place after that, and it's not so intimidating, it's not so bad. And we have to, it's kind of a must to attend, to speak up, to voice our concerns, because they're the ones essentially that are coming up with these rules and regulations and privacy, you know, clauses to keep parents away and not being transparent with us. So why not address it at the core? Because really, when you go to the principal and the teachers, they're saying, well, it's district policy, and they refer you back there anyways. So why not start at the core of where everything's starting from?
Before even the law has been like approved
Right.
or anything.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they're saying it's a California law as far as I think you're referring to the parental notification issues. According to them, it's a California law that they have to lie to parents, which it doesn't exist. No law exists like that. So what they're doing is already illegal. They're just getting away with it because we're not speaking up. We're not voicing our concerns. We're not going to the board meetings.
Yeah, okay. So, and now here you go. You're the famous fighting mom. Okay,
Yeah,
so
and there's an army of us, and I'm glad that since then I've met with so many amazing moms, dads, that are really passionate about the cause, really wanting to put an end to it, make our voices heard however, wherever we can. It's just not right what's happening.
yes. And you are a member or a leader of Leave Our Kids Alone.
Yes, yes, part of the Leave Our Kids Alone organization, a board member of the
It's
organization.
so brave of you, Lucine. We're so proud
Thank
of you.
you.
And you're Armenian, so
I am
you have
Armenian.
we have the same
Customs
and traditions and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's very, very good from you. So, yeah. So, Lucine هي زي أي بتتفرج علينا دلوقتي. هي أرمنية في مدارس LAUSD في لوس أنجلوس، وسمعت عن اللي هو البرايد مانث بتاع اللي كان حددوه في جون، واول ما سمعت كده قررت ان هي تروح السكول بورد ميتنج وتتكلم وتقول انا مش عايزه اولادي يسمعوا الكلام ده ومش عايزه اولادي يتعلموا الكلام ده، لانها كمان اتفاجئت ان هم بيحكي لهم الحكايات اللي بتقول اللي هي زي ما بيبتدي اي حكايه للاطفال، ان في يوم من الايام كانت الفاميلي عباره عن اب وام واولاد، لكن دلوقتي ممكن تبقى أبين وأولاد أو أمين وأولاد. فطبعا هي لما شافت الكلام ده ما سكتتش، وبصراحة بتحضر كل سكول بورد ميتنج وبتتكلم وما خافتش خالص وبتدافع عن ولادها. وعملوا اورجانيزيشن، الأرمن ابتدوا يعملوا اورجانيزيشن وسموها ليف اور كيدز الون، والاورجانيزيشن كبرت قوي، وبصراحة يعني مش ساكتين وبيحضروا على طول البورد عشان يدافعوا عن حقوقهم كآباء في أولادهم. هنعرف أكتر في الوقت الجاي. جوردن. We'll let you mention that Jordan is running for Glendale Unified School Board. So if you are in this area and you have any question, you should contact Jordan.
Yeah, please, if you live in Glendale, feel free to reach out to me.
Yes.
I'm on Instagram at Henry4Glendale, the number 4.
Thank you.
And I'm always available to speak to any parents who have concerns.
Thank you for always available for us.
Yeah, I try.
Okay. So yes, I will leave you introduce yourself and what inspired you to do what you're doing now.
Sure, it's a long story. I'll make it short. This goes back to, for me, 2017,
Wow.
where I went to school at Cal Poly Pomona for landscape architecture. And while I was getting my master's, they had us read a book on educational theory. So education has nothing to do with landscape, or at least what I thought. And the book was by a Brazilian Marxist, a man named Paulo Freire. And I was really curious, like, why are we reading an education book? And then why is it quoting Marx and Lenin and Castro and Mao? And what does this have to do with this? And then, you know, I read the book, and it states many times the whole point of the book is to attack of that movement. It's called critical pedagogy. And, you know, I finished my master's. I was really disturbed by that. I never forgot about it, and I started researching public education more. I have my own children. I've got a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, 2 boys. And we moved to Glendale for the public schools. I've always been a big supporter of public education. But when I was looking into their curriculum and more broadly what's happening in California, I kept on. And then the whole issue regarding critical race theory as well. If you go and research the foundational texts from critical race theory, they also cite Paulo Freire. So education has been a central part of what we would call the new Marxist movement. I was shocked to realize this. It disturbed me deeply.
In America.
In America. And, you know, this is through higher education. Every teacher in California, certainly, and many throughout the country since 1990, have really been exposed to critical pedagogy and Marxist education in one way or another. And then, like I said, it's all about negating structure. Negating meaning tear it down. That includes identity and the structure that they claim society puts on you. And that includes one's gender. So, you know, if you're born, we're born male or female, and very few people have basically they're deformed, and they're sterile. It's a tragedy, but that's. But what they're saying is your binary sex, male or female, is totally mutable. You can change it. You can choose whichever one you want. And this is part of that whole legacy, or that whole lineage of thought. And this is where we've ended today in the schools. So I got activated in speaking out at school board meetings to point these issues out, to point out the fact that they are instituting Marxist education, and they lied. I mean, the teachers lied, the district lied, the superintendent. Everybody said that you're lying to us, Jordan, when I was telling the truth, and that now it's being validated.
In college?
No.
In school?
School board meetings.
So school board meetings. I did the same in college. I definitely spoke out when I was getting my master's too.
Okay.
I burned a lot of bridges in college.
A lot of people angry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
But I was a straight A student, so.
Oh, that's great.
So the schools lied, and they kept on saying that I was lying, and I just kept on going, kept on building relationships with parents, kept on learning more, and we have a really amazing group who do research, who are gifted people who will go in and research everything they possibly can, and it's just an amazing group of people. It's very inspiring to see parents come together and to utilize all their free time and energy to help people become aware of the problems in the public schools. And this also affects private schools too. Don't get me wrong.
That was a question for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that affecting the private school too?
Yes, yeah. But now we're seeing all this stuff come out in the open in California. And parents are pushing back. They're realizing what the policies are, how the policies are undermining their own inalienable, God-given rights. And we're fed up. We're fed up, and we're going to make a change right now. And we're starting to see that change occur throughout the state. And there's some really promising changes going on right now.
That's amazing. That's really encouraging.
Yeah. And I am running for school board because
of this.
yeah, in our system right here, we have in the states we have to have political change from people who are willing to take those roles.
So it wasn't in your plan to do that? Like,
No interest in this personally. This was not my goal. Yeah. This is maybe the least fun thing I could possibly be doing right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There are many other things I could be
Fighting
doing.
for this next generation.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. It's our duty as Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's our all of live in
That's
this
right.
country. Yeah. Okay. بتسي. احنا دلوقتي احنا I'm sorry guys we'll speak. ان انت تبقي فعلا مشغوله بالموضوع ده.
Yes. أنا كمان أولادي كبار. أصغر واحد عندي 3 أولاد، بنت وولدين، وأصغر ابن خلص هاي سكول السنة الماضية. فممكن أنا أقول إنه الموضوع ما بخصني، خلاص الحمد لله أولادي تخرجوا.
مظبوط.
لكن كنت في الكنيسة قبل شهرين، ولقيت جاية مزعوجة كتير على الكنيسة بتقول إجاها مكتوب رسالة من السكول ديستريكت، وبيقولوا إنه حاجة زي إنه ممنوع تسمي بنتك بنت. فهي إجت على الكنيسة مزعوجة خالص وطلع وبالأسس وأخبر الآخرين إنه إحنا لازم نعمل حاجة. حتى لو الخطة الأولانية كانت إنه هنطلع إحنا small group of parents ونوقف قدام أي مدرسة بساينز ونقول ونعترض. بعدين اكتشفنا في groups of parents اللي عم بيحاربوا.
معظمهم أمريكان.
معظمهم أمريكان. We found out about Leave Our Kids Alone. We found out about Jordan Henry. We found out Ben with the Dad Army and so many others.
Yes.
اللي عم بيحاربوا فعلا. فهذا إشي مشجع جدا. فعم نحاول كلنا إنه نعمل دورنا، نعمل اللي علينا حتى نعرف الكل. نقدر إحنا
عملتي ايه كأم عربية؟ عملتي ايه؟
عملت
رحتي
ايه؟
الكنايس واتكلمتي وكل اللي بتشوفيهم والبايبل ستادي جروبس.
بصراحة كلمت على اللي عندي كل حدا اللي بعرفه، وحطينا على الفيسبوك عم نحاول أصحابكم عشان كلنا
هنعرف بعد شويه ان القوانين دي راحت للجفرنر دلوقتي، فاحنا ممكن نوصل صوتنا. حاجه سهله جدا، عملنا جروب اسمه ماي كيدز ماي رايت على الفيسبوك، وحطينا عليه كل اللينكس، وحطينا كمان الايميل ريدي ان انت بس تكتب اسمك ومعلوماتك، سبميت الفورم هتروح للجفرنر على طول. فلو سمحتوا يا جماعه مش عايزين نقعد نتفرج ونوصل الكلام، يعني ده دورنا ان احنا نتحرك دلوقتي. لو ما اتحركناش دلوقتي مش عارفين ايه اللي هيحصل بعد كده، ونعمل اللي علينا والباقي على ربنا زي ما بيقولوا. بس في مثل بيوقفني كتير قوي كلنا عارفينه، مثل بيقول ايه؟ السكوت علامة الرضا. فلو انتوا راضيين نبقى نسكت، اللي مش راضي يتكلم ويعمل حاجة وينشر الكلام، يقول لكل اصحابه لكل جيرانه لكل كنيسته خد اللينك اهو، خش، مش هتخسر حاجة لما تكتب اسمك وعنوانك وتقول انا مش موافق على القوانين دي. يعني انا كاتباها حتى على ماي كيدز ماي رايت على الجروب، مكتوب بالظبط، تاخد كوبي بس، او حتى هي ريدي بتعمل سبميت للفورم. يا جماعه محتاجين نبقى كلنا ايد واحده، لان ده مشكله جيل واطفال جايه. دي مش مشكله النهارده ولا مشكله بكره، ده مشكله مستقبل اطفال. الاطفال دي اللي بكره هي اللي هتبقى ماسكه الكنيسه، وهتبقى ماسكه وعندها اولادها اللي بتعلمهم. فاحنا لو ما حافظناش عليهم من دلوقتي يبقى كده يعني للأسف هقول مفيش مستقبل.
وعلى فكرة
مستقبل.
ممكن أقول كتير ناس بيفكروا إنه يهربوا على ستيت
ولايات
تاني، على ولايات تانية، أو يرجعوا لبلادهم. على فكرة أنا تفاجأت وانصعقت الأسبوع الماضي. كنا ببروتست بأورنج سكول ديستريكت، تعرفت على ست من ساوث كوريا، وهي تفاجأت جدا تعرف انه في بلدها بساوث كوريا اللي هم محافظين
قوي.
وكثير من عندهم من اكبر كنائس العالم، انه صار التعليم بساوث كوريا بالمدارس نفس الاجنده. فما تفكروش انه هتهربوا على اي مكان ثاني. لو هربتوا شوي هيلحقكم.
ايوه، وانت عليه في كاليفورنيا هيروحوا ولايات ثانيه.
بالضبط، انه نحارب هنا ونطلب حقوقنا هنا،
مش نهرب. مش نهرب. هربنا من بلادنا، بس هنا مش هينفع نهرب. هنا لازم نحافظ على حقوقنا اللي احنا جايين. كلنا قلنا احنا جايين عشان ولادنا، فلازم نحافظ على ولادنا. Okay, thank you so much. Sure. Okay, Jordan, I know we have good news to share before we start with the bad news or with the laws.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to share what happened in Escondido?
Yeah, we have a glimmer of hope is happening right now in California. Actually, in federal court, there were 2 teachers in Escondido Unified who sued the district because they were being forced to lie to parents, or at least the policy would force them to do it. Where if a child changes gender, changes name, pronouns, use of bathrooms, use of locker rooms, they would be required to hide that information from those children's parents. And both of these teachers are Christian. They said this violated their religious beliefs. This was filed again in federal court by a group called the Thomas More Society. And there is a federal judge in San Diego who hasn't put out a ruling yet, but he has communicated that there's enough
evidence.
Yeah, there's enough evidence, enough cause to say that the district needs to stop with this policy. And his justification, the legal justification is such that if a child comes out to the school with a different name, different pronouns, then they have no reasonable expectation for privacy anymore. They're opening up to the world, except to the parents. And the government cannot then say that their right to privacy can be upheld over the parents' right to privacy. The child has basically foregone their right to privacy at that point, coming out publicly. And so the parent then, and he's using the 14th Amendment, the Due Process Clause, which has case law built up, like 100 years of case law, stating that parents certainly have due process in determining what their child's education is going to be. It's their legal right to do so. The legal right to do so. So the fact that the school has tried to invade the privacy of the children, or use the privacy of the children to invade the privacy of the parents, that can no longer stand. This isn't final.
It's not final.
It's
okay,
not
but
final.
it's a hope.
It is, but it's looking like it will
Yes,
be.
yes,
yeah.
it will be.
And again,
It's a good
federal
start.
court. This is
Yeah.
federal court.
Great
Yes.
news.
In the state of California, here's the bad news. AG Bonta, he is this is the Attorney General in California.
course.
He was directed by Newsom to sue the Chino Valley Unified School District,
Yes.
which set a policy. So at the policy end, or
Yeah,
the
again, it's
yeah,
zero policy.
the policy is to have parental notification,
Yes.
transparency with parents.
Sonia Shaw.
Sonia Shaw,
Yeah.
exactly, at
Yeah.
Chino Valley. So Bonta is now suing them, claiming that they actually are upholding the right of privacy of the children. But this isn't going to stand. Bonta will lose eventually. He may win in the state of California. He may very well do that. But eventually it will get taken to federal court, and it will, the precedents will stand there. And the states have to uphold the Constitution of the United States.
Yes.
And if they fail to do so, whatever they're trying to do will be stopped.
Yes.
And it's just a matter of time at this point. Other districts may continue to try to do this. Like Glendale Unified is, and many others, LAUSD included, they are pushing forward as if none of this is occurring at the federal level. They will face legal problems, they will waste our tax dollars, and we will continue to fight, and we will win.
Yes.
اوكي
Amen.
يس سو الجود نيوز اللي عندنا ان في سكنديدو اللي هي في سان دييجو الاباء جمعوا بعض ورفعوا قضيه في الفيدرال كورت. ولما راحوا رفعوا القضيه ما كانش طبعا مصدقين ان هم ممكن يقبلوا اي كيس ناحيه اللاز الجديده، بس نشكر ربنا القاضي الفيدرالي قال ان القضيه دي كامله وممكن نبتديها. هو طبعا ما وافقش لسه او القضيه ما كسبوهاش او اي حاجه، بس على الاقل وافق على مشروع القضيه ان في كل الجوانب مكتمله، وهو هينظر في القضيه يبتدوا يقدموا القضيه. وده طبعا امل كبير ما كنا فاقدينه خالص. ما كانش فيه امل خالص ان اي محكمه تقبل كيس لاي حد مننا، وهم بيقدموا الدليل على كده ان هم بيقولوا ان الولايه او الستيت بتطالب بخصوصيه الطفل، ان الطفل ليه خصوصيته وما ينفعش الاباء يعرفوا الخصوصيات دي. فدلوقتي بيقولوا لما يجي الطفل اللي هو اتغير من ولد لبنت او من بنت لولد يخش المدرسه، let's say هو ولد ودخل المدرسه لابس مثلا فستان او حاطط
او اعلن انه
او هو قال انا مثلا ما اسميش وات ايفر، يعني مش عايزه اقول حاجات ما اسميش كذا بقى اسمي كذا على اسم بنت. طب ما انت اوريدي ما عندكش خصوصيه، كل الدنيا عرفت. يبقى ازاي بتطالبوا ان الاباء ما يعرفوش مع ان كل المدرسه عارفه؟ فطبعا دي هم استندوا على كده، ونشكر ربنا ان مبدئيا القاضي الفيدرالي وافق على ان الكيس تتعمل، يعني قال ان الكيس مكتمله، دي كيس مكتمله وممكن تقدموا الكيس. فده الخبر الحلو، يعني اللي بنعمله بيشتغل، في ناس بتتحرك، احنا بس محتاجين نبقى مع الناس دي ونبين قد ايه احنا برضو خايفين على اولادنا. Thank you Jordan. We have a phone call. Are we still لسه معانا التليفون؟ معانا استاذ رأفت من كاليفورنيا. مساء الخير.
لطيف رأفت في الجولة كاليفورنيا.
اهلا بحضرتك يا ابونا.
اهلا بحضرتك.
اتفضل.
ربنا يباركك. انا سعيد بالمجهود الغير عادي اللي حضرتك بتبذليه.
شكرا.
والحقيقه انه احنا لازم نكون بنواجه المحنه بموقف صلب جدا.
مظبوط.
لانه لسنوات طويله سواء في مصر ولا في امريكا احنا بناخذ مواقف سلبيه وبنفتكر ان دي المسيحيه بتاعتنا مش كده.
صح.
الرب يسوع نفسه ساعة المحاكمة ولما ضرب قال إن كنت أجبت رديا فاشهد على الردية وإلا لماذا تلطمني؟
مظبوط.
فاحنا لازم يبقى عندنا موقف حقيقي، لانه زي ما الرب يسوع كان دايما بيقول تعرفون الحق والحق يحرركم. انا بحاول اعمل دور تنويري لكل العائلات، وتظهر طبعا كل العائلات العربيه، لانه حاسس انه مرات كثيره الناس بتخبي وشها في الرمال وتقول احنا مالناش دعوه يعني.
صح.
انا شخصيا ما عنديش ولد في السن ده، انا ابني 21 سنه، لكن طبعا خايف على كل الناس وعلى كل الاولاد وعلى كل الجيل الجديد، لان اوريدي التلوث السمعي والبصري ابتدى من زمان، فمش عايزينه يكمل بحاجات تاني اسوأ واسوأ. ليا سؤال صغير قوي لسيادتك.
اتفضل.
هل القانون تم اقراره نهائيا ولا مجرد مشروع قانون؟ هو ده اللي انا مش قادر اوصله.
القوانين اللي طلعت تسابونا، القوانين اللي احنا اتكلمنا عنها،
تمام.
احنا هنتكلم بعد شويه. هي توافق عليها من الستيت اوريدي ورايحه للجفرنر تتمضي. احنا هنتكلم ان ديتيلز يعني على طول دلوقتي، هنقول كل قانون اللي هو واصل فين دلوقتي وايه اللي هيحصل فيه، بس هم مبدئيا توافق عليهم
بالكونغرس
للاسف.
بالكونغرس
للاسف
بس سمعت اخبار حلوه من سكنديدو دلوقتي، دي حاجه كويسه قوي.
يا ريت تحصل في كل احنا محتاجين فعلا الناس دي تنتشر، ولو لو بس يعني 5 6 ادارات تعليميه تانيين، وده اللي كنت لسه هتكلم عليه دلوقتي برضو، قاموا بنفس الموقف ده، اعتقد ان احنا هنقدر نغير القوانين دي
باسم
يسوع.
ربنا يبارك فيك.
شكرا الف شكر. صلواتك لينا، صلواتك لينا يا ابونا.
وتكونوا نور للعالم وملح للارض في المسيح.
شكرا. صلواتك لينا يا ابونا. شكرا.
الرب معاك.
شكرا.
سلام. الرب معاك.
سلام. سلام. اوكي. ثانك يو. سو انا كنت عايزه اقول حاجه تانية برضو قالها جوردن، كنت عايزه اقولها لكم. في طبعا ديستريكت تانية، سكول ديستريكت تشينو فالي يونيفايد سكول ديستريكت، المديره بتاعتها سونيا شا طلعت بوليسي وقالت انا مش هعمل كده، ولو حسيت ان اي حد من الاولاد عايز يغير لازم تقولوا للاباء بتاعتهم. المدرسين مطالبين ان هم يقولوا للاباء. طبعا الدنيا مقلوبه على سونيا دلوقتي وربنا معاها ويحميها. هي مسيحيه مؤمنه، و يعني من اسره يعني برضك عربيه، يعني باباها عربي على فكره من سوريا. فاحنا كلنا بنصلي لسونيا ان ربنا يجيب ناس كتير زي سونيا صح. وزي جوردن يكونوا في السكول ديستريكت، والناس دي هم دول اللي احنا محتاجينهم دلوقتي. محتاجين ان احنا نصلي ربنا يسندهم حقيقي، لان الحرب عليهم جامده جدا، ومحتاجين ان احنا نعمل لهم السبورت بتاعنا ازاي؟ بس نوصل صوتنا، نقول احنا مش موافقين. فلما الناس دي بتطلع وبتتكلم ده وراهم الوفات، مش وراهم 10 20، وراهم الوفات اللي عايشين في كاليفورنيا رافضين القانون ده. طبعا اشكر ابونا جدا اللي هو بيشجع شعبه ان هو يخش ويعمل وبيسال واتصل عشان يعرف القوانين فين دلوقتي. فيعني يا ريت كلنا نشير المعلومات دي. اوكي Jordan, now because we have a question about the laws and all of this, can we go and start with the law?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yes, let me open the file for you. Just 1 second.
Yeah, so California is putting together a lot of Senate and Assembly bills that will drastically change the landscape, the political landscape going forward.
1 second. ممكن نحط السلايد على التلفزيون. أيوة.
Perfect.
Okay.
Could you please go up to the first slide?
Oh yeah, of course.
There we go. Perfect.
I missed this one. I know you like that one.
Yeah. So this is very important. If anybody's watching, please scan these QR codes, or you could take a picture of this. Please follow Nicole Pearson. She's an attorney, and her firm is called Facts, Law, Truth, Justice. And that's her account name on Instagram. She goes through and analyzes every bill as it's being introduced, changed, every step of the way through the Assembly and through the Senate in the state of California. And then also follow PERC, that's the Protection of the Educational Rights of Kids. This is an organization that's essentially a lobbying group that goes to Sacramento. They set up meetings with legislatures And then they also provide legal counsel when needed. Both of these resources are incredibly important to stay up to date on the bills that are coming through at a very quick pace. If we go to the first bill, that's AB 1078, I'd just like to quickly describe what these bills are going to be doing. Each one of these slides has a QR code and a link at the bottom of the slide next to the picture, where you can go and email or call right now the governor, because these bills have passed both state assembly and senate, and they're at the governor's desk currently to be signed.
Let me translate the first slide. So السلايد اللي احنا شايفينه قدامنا ده عايزين نعمل فولو لنيكول. نيكول ده محامية I think she's a lawyer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
محامية بتقرا البيل وبتفصصها وبتحطها على الصفحة بتاعتها، فأي حد عايز يتابع القوانين الجديدة اللي نازلة يعمل فولو. لو عملته بالكاميرا الكيو ار كود ده هتخشوا على الصفحة بتاعتها وتعملوا فولو. التاني ده بيرك، ده منظمة هي بتعمل الايميل برضو كريدي زي اللي احنا عملناه كده على الجروب، وبتخش وبتقول لكم تعملوا ايه بالظبط لو عايزين تعترضوا على البيلات اللي نازله. فيا ريت احنا الاثنين دول الكيو ار كود الاثنين اللي قصادنا دول نعمل لهم سكان بالكاميرا ونخش عليهم، وبالذات بيرك ده لان بيرك بيبقى مجهز الايميل وبس هتحط اسمك وتعمل سبميت هتوصل صوتك اللي هو دلوقتي بيغيروا كمان بيعملوا ابديت على طول. الاول كان للسيناتور دلوقتي للجفرنر، لان زي ما هنعرف كمان شويه او عرفنا ان كل القوانين اللي هنتكلم عليها دلوقتي دي ونشرحها اتوافق عليها من السنت اللي هو بتاع كاليفورنيا. وطبعا لو دخلتوا هتشوفوا مين السيناتور اللي وافق ومين السيناتور اللي رفض، وهبقى انزل لكم الصور دي بعدين على الكومنت بعد الحلقه. فممكن توصل للسيناتور بتاعك لو انت لقيته وافق على قانون من القوانين دي وتقول له انا مش موافق على انك توافق عليه، انا ما كنتش عايزه، انا مش موافق. لازم توصلوا صوتكم للسيناتور بتاعكم. طيب هنشرح اول قانون. Can we explain AB 1078?
So AB 1078, this bill will require schools to adopt diverse or inclusive curriculum, and that includes very offensive books and materials that we as parents are standing up against, because they really not only violate our morality, but they also violate anybody's common sense of decency. And in fact, if you do reject these books, if a school board does that, they will fine you, defund you, investigate you, make your life very difficult as a school board official. They also are they're increasing the threshold to vote down these books to a 2/3 majority vote, as opposed to just a simple majority. It used to be a lot easier to get rid of curriculum that parents did not want, but now it's more difficult. This is on Governor Newsom's desk. If you follow that link, it sends you to an automatic email. It's ready to go. Just go to that link, submit your information, and click send. It'll take you 2 minutes to do each one of these bills. The next one is AB.
Let me translate
Okay, go for it.
so quickly. So البيل 1078 دي بتقول ان السكول ديستريكت ملهاش حق ان هي ترفض المناهج اللي جايه من الولايه، ولو في حد عمل كده هيعملوا له فاين وممكن يمشوه اصلا، يعملوا له فاير من البورد، وما بقاش في حد خالص من حقه ان هو يرفض المنهج اللي جاي من الولايه. فالكيو ار كود اللي قصادنا ده هنلاقي كل بيل بعد كده الكيو ار كود ده لو عملنا له سكان هياخدنا على البيل دي وهيوديها على الجفرنر على طول، على جيفن نيوسم على طول، على الايميل بتاعه على طول، وهنقول له احنا مش موافقين على البيل دي. فالكيو ار كود اللي على كل سكرين من القوانين دي مخصوصه بالقانون ده. فزي ما جوردن بيقول مش هتاخد منك دقيقتين انك تعمل سكان وتكتب اسمك وهو جاهز اوريدي الايميل، اسمك وتعمل سبميت، ابعت الايميل. لو سمحتوا يا جماعه، لو سمحتوا. I have a question. Is this is only for California residents or anyone can do it?
Anyone can do it.
Anyone can.
Anyone can do it, but this is for California specifically.
Yeah, it's for the law is for California,
Right.
but if anyone from any state can
Correct.
scan the QR code and go to the website and say, right?
Correct.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So ده مش كاليفورنيا بس، ده ممكن أي حد تاني من كل الولايات، يعني ممكن كنايسنا كلها في أمريكا تعلن عن الموضوع ده ونخش كلنا في أمريكا، كل العرب في أمريكا
Yeah.
وتحارب معانا في كاليفورنيا، عشان لو نجحت في كاليفورنيا أكيد قريب قوي هتيجي في ولايتك. أوكي؟
Okay, the next bill is AB 5. This one is unfortunately now law as of yesterday. This was signed in, and this basically provides training to create a, quote, safe and supportive learning environment. Educators and a lot of the legislatures, they take very pleasant sounding language like safe and supportive, but there is a lot of meaning behind that, where they are going to basically profile students who could potentially become LGBT, and then encourage them to do that through groups, local organizations, outside groups, outside of the school. They also will identify which families are hostile to this ideology, which families won't be accepting, and they offer no support or training for anybody who disagrees with this, or students who actually, you know, do change their genders,
So
but then
sad.
choose to detransition after that. There's no training provided in that. And again, this is now law. So you have to be very aware as a parent.
And this is also now in the governor desk. Or
He
it's
already signed
already-
it. He signed
He
it.
signed it?
So it's
Yep.
law.
Wow, it's a lot.
So we're informing people about what is law here.
Okay, but still we can.
Yeah, you can email.
Yeah, we can email. Yeah.
It's after the fact, but
yeah,
yeah.
but we can do it. We
You
can
can. You
explain
still
like
can.
we don't
Opinion.
agree with this law.
Yes.
Yeah. So القانون ده AB5 ده بيقول ان هم هيمرنوا هيعدوا تمرينات وتدريبات للمدرسين وكل اللي شغالين في السكول ديستريكت ان هم ازاي يعاملوا ال LGBTQT. Can you explain what is LGBTQT?
BT.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a group of letters
No,
that
what is the
represent.
letters for?
Yeah,
I think it's
lesbian, gay,
Gay.
bisexual, trans, gender,
Yeah.
queer.
Queer.
I means intersex, or there are other terms for that. A is asexual.
Oh, enough.
Yes.
But the point is that this is a made up term.
Everything else.
This is a made up term. This is not a homogenous group. Clearly, it's not a
Yeah.
political group.
Yes.
This is not that we are being manipulated to think that this is a singular group of people, and it's not. Absolutely not.
Okay, so LGBTQ يعني lesbian, gay,
Transgender.
bisexual,
Transgender.
transgender,
Queer.
queer. Oh my God. Okay. طيب. فهم بيقولوا ان هم لازم يبقى في مدرسين متدربين ازاي يعاملوا الناس دي، وان هم ياخدوا بالهم كويس ان الناس دي ما حدش يأذي مشاعرهم وما حدش يجي جنبهم، ولو انت مش موافق على القوانين دي مش هتاخد التدريبات ديت، ومش هتبقى مرحب بيك من الاخر كده مش هيبقوا عايزينك في المدرسه. فلازم المدرسين يكونوا عارفين ازاي يتعاملوا مع الاولاد دول وياخدوا تمرينات وتدريبات، ولو هم ما وفروش بيئه مناخيه حلوه للناس دي مش هيبقى حلو للمدرسين دول ان هم يكملوا في السكول ديستريكت للاسف طبعا. وزي ما سمعنا في الاول ان في 2 مدرسات مسيحيين رفضوا ان هم يدرسوا الحاجات دي واترفضوا، وكان القرار يعني لو لا اما تعملوا كده لا اما هتترفضوا، وهم وافقوا ان هم يترفضوا. طبعا ربنا معاهم ويا ريت نلاقي امثالهم كتير، لان انا حاسه عندي يعني بفتكر كده يا بتسي لو كل المدرسين مش كلهم شويه حتى منهم سابوا اترفضوا وقعدوا، يمكن ده كمان يعني يفوقهم شويه. فانا فخوره جدا بالاثنين اللي عملوا كده. And okay, before we go to the other bill, can you show us the book you have?
Oh yeah,
the book.
yeah, and this correlates to AB 1078. This is the kind of book. This is the kind of book that would be included in your school.
In elementary school.
This is from Glendale unified. This is an elementary school.
This is your
In an elementary
kids'
school, yeah.
district.
And it's called Who Are You? And just really quickly, I just want to...
Few sentences.
Yeah, a few sentences.
Yeah.
This is a story about you. The important thing to remember is that you are the one who knows you best.
Oh my God.
When babies are born, people ask, is it a boy or is it a girl? The sex is assigned to you at birth, male or female. Sometimes people get this confused with gender, but gender is much more than the body you were born with. This is where it gets crazy. As babies grow into kids, they start to know what they like and what they don't like. This is your personal expression. There's so many ways to express yourself. What you like can change when you grow up or even from day to day. And then it shows this. What do you like? And this is...
So
These are
it's
toys.
Yeah.
Kids love toys.
Yes.
They would be very excited to see this. My own son has seen this book. He's like, can I read it, Daddy? I said, no. Sorry, but this excites children. It's a way in to a child's
So
mind.
colorful and
Oh, look, there are clothes. There's a dress, or there's boys' clothes, or boots, or female shoes.
yeah.
And then it says, kids know a lot about themselves. They know who they are by how they feel inside. They know by how they feel.
Inside.
Okay? This is your identity. Who you feel like inside, who you know yourself to be. This can also change as you grow up, or change from day to day. Your gender is just one part of your identity. What makes you you? So your gender identity can change day to day. And then it says, some people say there are only two genders, but there are really many more genders. You are who you say you are because you know best. Then it says, I am a girl, boy, both, neither, just me. Teaching children this is very confusing. I mean, it's evil because you're lying.
For me.
Yeah. And then it says, for some people, the grown-ups guessed right about their body and their gender. Just a guess, right?
Yes.
This is called cisgender. So this is gender ideology right here. They have their own language that they've taken from other, real uses of language. The term cis is a real term, biological term, but they've applied it to this. And it says when someone's identity matches their sex assigned to them at birth. That's cisgender. These are just a few words people use. Transgender, genderqueer, non-binary, gender fluid, transgender, gender neutral, agender, neutros, I don't know that word, bigender, third gender, and two-spirit.
That's the plus at the end of
Yeah, this is all the plus.
So I think it's more.
And it says, this is called the gender spectrum. There are lots of ways to be a boy, there are lots of ways to be a girl, there are lots of ways to be a kid. Be who you are. So this takes all authority. Remember how I was talking about Paulo Freire, the Marxist education, who was educator who's trying to destroy all hierarchy or all power. He puts it all into the student. The student, the child has all the knowledge that they need. And it's self-infatuation. It's an affront to God. It's an affront to the Bible, to structure, to order. To everything that we hold dear as normal.
Right.
اوكي. Who are you؟ ده الكتاب اللي بيشوفوه اولادنا في سن الابتدائي بيلاقوه في المكتبه، وطبعا شايفين شكله حلو ازاي، شكله جميل جدا، وكل الرسومات فيه حلوه قوي تشد اي طفل ان هو يتفرج عليه. كلها اطفال بتلعب، وشوفوا سن الاطفال اللي هم حاطينها في الصور. شوفوا سن الاطفال، لان الاطفال صغيره خالص، يعني مش جايبين حتى دول الادلت اللي بيقولوا ان هم بعض الكبار قدروا يخمنوا نوعهم صح، يخمنوا يعني جس هم ايه. وبصوا الاطفال اللي حاطينهم في الصوره دي الاعمار اللي هم بيخاطبوها، دي الاعمار اللي هم بيدخلوا في دماغهم الحاجات دي. يعني دلوقتي لازم نشوف ولادنا بتقرا ايه في المكتبه. انا عارفه ان زمان ولادي كانوا بيجوا كل يوم جايبين كتاب جديد عشان يقروه عشان يمتحنوا فيه ويبدلوا الكتب. طبعا انا عديت المرحله دي، فنصيحه مني لكل ام، معلش بصي شويه على الكتاب اللي ابنك او بنتك بتجيبه تقراه، ما فيش حل تاني، لازم ان احنا ناخد بالنا. يبقى watch what your kids reading from the library.
And these books are donated from national organizations, right? You experience.
Here.
So that's the organization Gender Nation.
Yeah.
You can.
They've made a very large donation of books to LAUSD elementary schools as well. So 75,000 books by that same organization.
Donation.
Gender
Donation.
Nation. So they're giving it out for free, right? So no one's rejecting it. They're willingly taking it. And it's available in all public school elementary schools. I know LAUSD has confirmed that they have accepted this donation.
So المنظمه دي اسمها جندر نيشن.
Yes, that's the organization.
اتبرعت عامله دونيشن لكل السكول ديستريكت بالكتب دي عشان تعلم الاولاد، يعني ناس تعمل خير ببلاش.
75,000 كتاب.
This is not an organic movement. It's being funded by elites.
It's well done.
Yes.
Of course.
It's
Yes.
well done.
They all are.
Yeah.
And
sad.
like in AB 1078, that book will be required in your
And then
classroom eventually.
Yeah, parents won't have the ability to get rid of it.
But okay,
Right.
we still, so the 1078 is still not signed yet.
Correct.
Okay, so
As of this week, it's still, or as of last night, it's still on his
it's
desk.
not. It will be, I think, next week. I believe so.
I believe so too,
Next
but we'll
week.
find out.
Yeah, we'll find
Yeah.
out. So الكتاب ده تبع البيل 1078 اللي هو هينزله في المناهج اللي احنا اتكلمنا عليه اول بيل. عايزاكم كلكم تخشوا الكيو ار كود، لسه عارفه دلوقتي قناه لوجوس هتنزلها على الصفحه الرئيسيه بتاعتها. يا ريت بعد الحلقه كلنا ندخل ناخد صوره الكيو ار كود ونملى الفورم المكتوبه. البيل 1078 هتخلي الكتاب ده اللي لسه قاريينه دلوقتي الزامي في كل المدارس الابتدائي. That's so sad.
Yes.
Unbelievable, yes.
Okay. AB 665.
Sure. Yeah. This one's scary.
It's so scary.
This is developed by Scott Wiener and Wendy Carrillo. I think it's Wendy Carrillo. So that's a picture of Scott Wiener.
They're always doing everything too.
Yeah, he's a, yeah. So Scott Wiener is a senator in San Francisco, and he put this bill forward where it says that a 12-year-old can leave home and go to a residential shelter. This is a government custody. They can do it for any reason without parental notice. The child then decides to include the parent. Solely the child's decision. No longer needs a counselor's input to do so. Like if it actually was a physically abusive situation, then you would want to have something like this in place. But now the child can simply get up and go. And the parent would have no control over what kind of counseling they get or what kind of professional, quote, person the child would
I
speak
heard
to.
this bill amended. They amended it to have a professional supervision. Is that right?
Right, but they've changed the definition of
Again?
professional to include interns, apprentices,
Counselors.
Yes,
trainees. They've expanded the term professional. They play with language every chance they can.
I just want to
Wow.
ask you, has been signed from the governor?
No, as of yesterday, no.
Okay.
So please email. I've
Email.
emailed I've done all these. I've called and
So
emailed for
we
each
keep
one.
emailing them, but also we need email and pray.
Phone
Yes.
calls.
Yes, and
Yeah.
phone calls.
You can call the governor.
I will say pray,
Yes.
pray.
Yes.
الصلاة بتعمل معجزات. لسه قدامنا أسبوع. وابعت الإيميل وكمان اتصلوا بالتليفون. البيل دي بشعة. البيل AB 665 بتقول إن الطفل من عمر 12 سنة من حقه يسيب البيت. والأب أو الأم ما يسألوش هو رايح فين ولا جاي منين ولا هيعرفوا أصلا هو راح فين. بيعلموهم في المدرسة إن في فاسيلتيز معينة ممكن لو عايز يمشي يسيب البيت يروح الفاسيلتي دي وبيديهم أرقام التليفونات وكل حاجة وهم هناك زي will take care of him وأنت مش تعرف ابنك مين اللي بيقول له إيه ولا بيشرح له إيه. بمناسبة الكلام ده أنا عايزة أحكي يعني حاجة حقيقية اتحكت لي. واحدة بنتها في الجونيور هاي في الإعدادي يعني تعبت وراحت للنيرس بتاعت يعني تعبت التعب بتاع البنات عادي جدا فراحت للنيرس عايزة برشام دواء عشان عندها مغص جامد جدا. فلما دخلت للنيرس قالت لها انا يعني بنت فعندها حاجه كل البنات عندهم فتعبانه فعايزه برشامه. لما روحت البيت حكت لمامتها مامتها اللي حكت لي ان بتقول لها الممرضه بتاعت المدرسه قالت لها ايه؟ قالت لها انت ايه اللي مخليكي تستحملي الوجع ده؟ طب ما انت عارفه ان انت ممكن تلغي الدنيا دي خالص وتقولي على ايه يعني كل شهر يجي لك الوجع ده
ولد تصيري ولد
تبقي ولد وتاخدي هرمونز وبعد كده مش هيبقى عندك المغص. انت ايه اللي خلاكي كل شهر يبقى عندك المغص ده؟ يعني ممكن تاخدي الهرمون وتبقي ولد وتخلصي من الموضوع ده. So I was just telling them a story about, like, I heard one of the mother told me, like, her daughter went to the nurse at school asking for, like, Tylenol or anything because she's a girl.
Her monthly.
Yeah. So the nurse told her, why you're dealing with that? You know, you can take a hormone and you be a boy, and you don't have to deal with this the rest of your life.
Wow.
So الأم يعني yeah.
You know what else is interesting though? You mentioned Tylenol. If it's true, if things were how I was when I was in school at LAUSD, the nurse wouldn't give me Tylenol until they called my mom.
Yes, and
to
still till now. Still till now.
But that's now going out the window. You know, it's just funny how things progress to the point where you can't get Tylenol as a 12-year-old, but you can, as a 12-year-old, if this passes, go to the nurse, to counselor, and say, oh, I'm upset, I've got anxiety, a little bit of depression, whatever it might be, right? 12-year-olds are very hormonal, and there's a lot going on. We've all been there, right? Yeah. And parents, maybe your mom got mad at you the day before because you were on your phone too much, whatever it was, right? And they've now made it seem like the parents are dangerous. We're safe. I've got a safe place for you. All these words that they play with. So do you not want to go home today? Just today? Do you want to go somewhere else? And the kid says yes. That's all it takes. Done deal.
Yes.
You go at 3 o'clock to pick up your child. Your child's not there. They're now a custody of the state, and you've got to go to legal battles to get your kid back.
And I heard also they will give them an addresses and phone number to call if they are at home and they want to leave anytime. They can call and they can go to the facility and they can leave the home anytime. And
That's
the parents
scary.
cannot hold them.
Are they required to at least inform the parents if the kids leave?
No.
I mean, they're not informing us now if the child at school is going by a different name, a different pronoun. You know.
But I mean, you go to pick up your kid and they're not there.
Of where they are,
They'll say your child was taken away. We can't tell you where.
Because he
Taken into
asked.
custody.
Yeah.
Wow.
He asked to.
Yeah.
12 years old.
Because
Was removed from
they
that
can't buy
situation.
cigarettes, they can't buy alcohol, they can't vote, they can't get tattoos, but they can choose
they
to
can
leave
choose
the
to leave the
home
home.
because parents are so-called dangerous.
Dangerous.
Right.
So it's an attack on families and our values.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
So القانون 665 زي ما قلنا بيخلي الطفل عنده 12 سنة من حقه انه يمشي ويسيب البيت او تروح تاخده من المدرسة ما تلاقيهوش في المدرسة. قال للمدرسة انا اتخانقت مع بابا وماما امبارح مش عايزة اروح. طب خلاص ما تروحش وياخدوه. مش من حقك اصلا تعرف هو فين.
طبعا هيندم بعد ما يترك
هيندم بس ما هو ده طفل عنده 12 سنة يعرف منين ده زي ما احنا كنا لسه
he's going to
بنقول.
regret it. The kid that leaves home 24 hours later is going to regret it when they're in
Sure, but you know,
in a
too late.
foster.
Now the parent is stuck having to go through court battles to get them back. When you said they've changed the wording on the existing law. The existing one says, like what Jordan was saying, that the child has to be in clear and present danger. That's now gone out the window. So there needs to be no clear and present danger of the child. So the parent is not dangerous. They've admitted that. But it's okay because your 12-year-old said so. We're going to take the 12-year-old's yes as a hard decision.
Evidence.
Yes. And this law is still in the...
Still on the desk.
Yes.
Okay. AB 665 محتاجين so crazy. So محتاجين نعمل اسكان الكيو ار كود ونتصل ونبعت ايميل ونصلي ان القانون ده ما يتقبلش. هو على مكتب الجفرنر دلوقتي. كلنا عارفين الجفرنر اكيد يعني عارفين هو هيعمل ايه بس برضو عارفين ان الهنا قوي ممكن يعمل اكتر.
امين.
امين. البيل AB 957.
Yeah, this one has to do with custody of a child in a divorce dispute, and they define the health, safety, and welfare of a child to include gender affirmation. So if you're divorced and your spouse, your ex, affirms but you don't, that will be a major factor in determining the custody of the child. It will go to the person who's affirming. That's already happened for multiple people in California now. Adam Vania is one. Harrison Tinsley is another. There's a third, a parent where the child has been, the parent has no custody whatsoever of that child because they refuse to affirm the change in gender. And we're talking about 2-year-olds?
3-year-olds.
3-year-olds?
Yeah.
These children, yes.
So the
Yes.
mom is transitioning, has agreed to transition the 2-year-old.
And the 2-year-old
The dad-
knows what gender they want to be?
No.
No,
Clearly
like
no.
they said,
They don't
like,
even know
they need the parents to
colors.
be,
Yes, they don't know what
We have
gender
hit
they are.
a point of psychosis in society.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, so, and it's very important to understand that health, safety, and welfare, those are terms used to define abuse as well in state law. So if this actually does get adopted, this could have implications towards a very loving home, a stable home, being considered abusive.
So the parent that doesn't affirm is now considered abusive.
Right.
Yeah, or a risk to their health, safety, and welfare. Yeah,
and this is still
On the desk.
on the
on the
desk.
desk. اوكي. البيل AB 957 بتقول ان لما بتبقى في حالات الانفصال او الطلاق الكاستدي لو في طرف من الطرفين يعني let's say الاب موافق على التغيير الجنسي للاطفال وبيسبورت الفكره دي هو اللي هياخد الفول كاستدي لو الام رافضه او العكس طبعا يعني هو ايفر موافق على الايديا دي هو اللي هياخد الفول كاستدي. طبعا حاجه مرعبه ان واحد يكون تفكيره كده والتاني لا والمحكمه تقوم مدياه للراجل او للست اللي هتدمر حياه الطفل ده ويقولوا التاني ده ابيوسيف. لا ما ينفعش، ده مش طبيعي، ما ينفعش ياخد باله من الطفل. وبرضك البيل دي لسه على مكتب الجفرنر. لازم نتحرك
قبل ما يمضي.
قبل ما يتمضي الاسبوع الجاي. معانا مكالمه من كريستين. اتفضلي يا كريستين سامعينك.
Hi, this is Christine. I'm born here, but I can kind of speak Arabic, so I can kind of go back and forth with
English
both
is
languages.
better. Okay.
English is better.
Yes.
Perfect. I wanted to say thank you to Jordan and to everyone at the table because I don't have Logos TV on my television, but thankfully my mom was the one who told me you need to get on Logos TV on your computer or on your phone and you need to listen to this episode. And so I tuned in from the very beginning and I've been listening throughout the whole episode and I just want to say thank you. First of all. I have 2 young children. I have an 8.5-year-old and I have a 5-year-old. And we are in Orange County. So we're in the, also LAUSD, but Los Alamitos Unified School District, which I feel is more conservative than other districts. But I think the first time I was exposed to something like this was when my son Jonathan came home 2 years ago when he was in 1st grade. And
2 years
he
ago?
told 2 years ago.
In 1st grade.
Okay.
In 1st grade. He's in 3rd grade now. So in 1st grade, he came back and he was a little upset and he was a little sad. And I was like, what's going on? How was your day? What did you guys talk about in school? And he told me, he's like, 3 of the kids in my class, their parents are divorced. And I'm like, how did that trigger? Like, what conversation arose or how did that come out in conversation at school in the first place? And so he told me about a book that they read, and it was talking about how different families can be portrayed. And so I looked up the book on YouTube afterwards, and it basically is like families come in all shapes and colors. Some families are big, some families are small, some families are messy, some families are neat. And then in between, there was a little page that says, some families have 2 moms and some families have 2 dads.
Let me ask you,
And-
Christine, is that in Orange County School District?
This is in Orange County, yes.
Same as in yeah.
This is in Orange County, and Los Alamitos Unified School District is a pretty conservative school district. And so we were shocked that, I was shocked, and I'm sure all the parents in our grade level were extremely shocked that this was read to our kids without us knowing anything about it.
Exactly.
And we had a conversation with the parents, and that is what led me to actually, I'm on the PTA board. I go to the board meetings. I'm extremely extremely involved with the school district. Next week we're going to the State of the District meeting, and we voice our opinions. And as a very conservative, as a very conservative district, I was shocked. I was shocked that that book was even read without our permission. And the principal apologized, and that book was removed. And we received a formal apology that
it come back.
and then that's the thing, is when I was looking at that bill and the AB 10, is it 78 or
78?
And that's exactly my thought process, is that a book like this was similarly read 2 years ago, and I mean, luckily our voices were heard, and all of us collectively as parents, we were like, how is this read to first graders? You know, and it was very subtle, but it was in the book, and it kind of just passed, you know, and I don't think my son picked on it or noticed that it said, you know, some parents have 2 moms or some parents have 2 dads, but it was in there. It was in the book. And so besides prayer and besides voicing our opinions via email and calling our senators, you know, my husband is very adamant about wanting to leave California altogether and going to a more conservative state, but I'm like, it's bound to go everywhere. It's a matter of, is it worth fighting, or are we so far to the left where, you know, our children, we need to think of other, you know, situations for our children? Because besides me being involved with, I mean, I'm a pharmacist, my husband's a physician, we're well educated, but I chose to go part-time so that I can give the school more attention, and so I serve on the PTA board. I served in different roles in all shapes and capacities, room mom. You know, I'm very heavily involved because I know where the money is spent, I know what the education is like, but not every parent has that privilege or has that time.
Okay.
So besides everything that we can do, what else can we do to help our districts and our state in general, you know, avoid these situations?
So that question, maybe Jordan will answer that question.
Yes.
Well, you're doing a lot that's right.
I'm so
currently.
proud
Yeah,
of
we
you.
were gonna
Good
say,
for you.
yeah.
I'm so proud we have
Get
a
other moms
Coptic
to join
Egyptian,
you.
like Christian mom doing this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Yes,
Christy.
and support your local school board candidates who support your values. Do whatever it takes to turn over the board. Also, if push comes to shove, I mean, taking your kids out of public school is an option. It's not something I think is the best or the first thing you should do, but that will send a huge message to the district. It's not something everyone can do. I don't think everybody should do it, but if those who are listening, you know, want to do that, that is an option. My kids are young; they're not enrolled yet. But I really struggle with the idea of sending them to an institution that supports this ideology. And if you take your kids out, I'm not saying you should, but if you do, it creates competition for these schools. And if more people do that, it will have a cascading effect.
Yeah,
I mean, like, we live in Los Alamitos School District, and Los Alamitos is one of the top in the state. It's an excellent school district. And, I mean, my husband and I are in agreement where as long as everything seems okay for now, you know, we're going to continue keeping them in this kind of education. I was personally raised in a private Christian school my whole life and my whole upbringing, ever since preschool. But my husband was raised in a public school his whole life and his whole upbringing. So for me, it was a challenge to put our children in public school in the first place. But knowing that I'm in Los Alamitos Unified School District, and it's an excellent school district compared to like Irvine and Yorba Linda and Placentia, and one of like the top Orange County school districts, you know, I feel comfortable keeping them there because the education is excellent. But we have definitely talked about, if anything like this starts happening in the schools, our first thought process is considering a Christian school to go to.
Yeah, and have you looked in your school's non-discrimination policy about...
No, but that is something I will look into.
Yeah, it's usually, write it down, AR 5145.3.
Oh, is it? Okay, can you repeat it?
AR 5145.3. And that is typically the policy under which parental notification or lack of parental notification is housed.
I'm gonna ask you one more time. AR, can you repeat the numbers one more time?
5145.3. It's usually under that number. It may be under a different number, but it will be under non-discrimination.
Okay. Christine, if you find it, can you please write it as a comment under the
Absolutely.
yeah, so everyone can go and check it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you for calling.
Yeah.
Thank you, and I appreciate all four of you, and you guys are doing such wonderful work, and like I said, if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't have tuned in, but the episode is extremely informative, and it carries a lot of very important information for all parents to know, so thank you.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you. Can you please leave your contact information, Christine? I would love to contact you, okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Christine.
So that non-discrimination policy is the one that is the grounds on which Escondido is being sued currently. That is the policy that Glendale has, that LA Unified has, that all the way up to Salinas has. They all copy each other.
Okay. Now the time is flying. Like.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. So AB 596.
So this
no, it's
one,
not AB. It's
this is SB, Senate Bill
Senate Bill.
596, written
okay.
by my senator, State Senator Portantino. He wrote this bill because of what we did in Glendale.
Okay.
Wow.
I
So
found
you are the one who.
I am literally the one that caused this bill. Yeah. So they are showing their hands, and we're forcing it. Every time they do something like this, it is like Sonia Shaw from Chino Valley, the school board president there says,
Amazing.
it is a gift. They're showing their
She
hands,
is.
they're exposing themselves and their
So proud
agenda.
of her.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
And so SB
You're great too,
596,
Jordan.
I'm learning a lot.
I saw
so-
all your picture in the board and how you explain everything. Like, God bless you.
Oh, thanks. I try to be nice, but sometimes I lose my cool.
Okay.
So SB 596, basically, this is a nonsense bill. Everything about harassment is already in penal code and legal doctrine in California. You cannot harass people, and that is very clear in our California code. But what Portantino has done is just escalated the penalties for this. So if you
$1,000?
$1,000 or up to a year in prison.
And it's a misdemeanor, right?
If
Yeah, it's a
Oh my
misdemeanor.
God. So it's in
If
his record. like,
if you
state.
speak out against a teacher or a staff member in a school district, and it's considered harassment. And the legal definition of harassment is if you annoy someone and they don't deem it legitimate. So if they deem your opinion illegitimate, which they will, and you annoy them, after hours, that is a misdemeanor, and they will fine you up to $1,000 or jail you. This is certainly going to be a violation of free speech.
So
This violates everybody's constitutional right to speech.
So the
That's what we're
basic,
doing at school board meetings when we go and speak out and voice our
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
So have you been fined yet? No?
Not yet,
Not yet, but this
apparently
bill-
after this goes through.
It's
On the desk?
I may be the first.
So this bill is still in the desk?
Yeah, this
It's on
bill
the
has actually
desk.
just passed the Senate and the Assembly. It has not gone to the governor's desk yet,
Okay.
but it will, and you
But
can still email
it
and
passed.
it did pass the Senate and the Assembly. All of them do.
the Senate and the...
Unfortunately, there is a party in California that passes all of this stuff, and we all know who.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So this is a violation of your free speech, and he will lie to you. Portantino will lie and say it's not. He's deceiving you. So please email.
So basically, parents can't speak up,
No.
right?
They
Or
find every
whoever.
which, loophole
Or
or
one year in jail.
roadblock to
Make it difficult to speak
exactly.
up.
You can only speak up about legitimate concerns.
So if you agree with them, it's okay.
Yeah.
Only
Just
if
don't
you-
have a different opinion.
This is authoritarianism.
Yeah.
We're living into a new wave of authoritarian law in California.
Dictatorship.
Yeah.
So SB 596 بتقول ان انت ما تقدرش تتكلم مع اي مدرس او تعارض اي حد بيتكلم في المواضيع ديت اللي هي التحويل الجنسي والكلام ده. ما تقدرش تعترض، ما تقدرش تقول كلمة وحشة تضايقهم او اي حاجة، لان في الحالة دي من حقهم ان هم يعني يشتكوك ويبقى الغرامة $1000 او ممكن تكون سنة في السجن. فمعناها من الاخر ان احنا لازم نسكت وما ينفعش نتكلم مع حد في البورد ولا في المدرسة. بس طبعا ينفع نبعت الايميل وينفع نتصل وينفع كمان ان احنا يعني نركع على ركبنا ونصلي لربنا انه يرفع القوانين دي عن ولادنا. انا عندي اسئله. I'm sorry. It's so hard to switch from everything. So I have some questions for you. And okay.
Is that the final law?
Yeah,
There is one
we
more,
have
but we
one
can
more.
skip it because it's been put on hold until
It's
next
on hold,
year.
but if you can say it quickly because
But you
we
can-
have only
could you
5.
please- well, we can skip this one because
Okay.
it's on hold, but
Can we get this one?
yeah, please,
Yes.
just leave this slide up here so people
Okay.
can
So you
get
know,
that number.
we really don't have time to answer any question, so I will go with the slide.
Okay.
This is more important.
Yeah.
So, and we can answer the question on the comment later on. Okay.
Yeah, so please
I will
call
try.
Governor Newsom's office today. Today. You
Now.
can do it tonight.
Now, leave a voicemail.
Leave a voicemail and then call again tomorrow.
Yeah.
But this is his number, and demand that the bills shown here on the screen are vetoed. AB 5 is not on there. He already passed it, but you can let him know that you disagree with it.
AP 5 already passed? Yeah,
Yes,
we
that's
said
right.
that. Yeah,
That's
he
right.
signed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have AB 1078, AB 665, AB 957, SB 596.
Yes,
We need to call today,
today.
and tomorrow, and every day.
And tell
Twice.
everyone you know.
Yes.
You can. God will hear your prayers. Newsom will hear your phone calls.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. جوردن بيقول ربنا هيسمع صلاتنا ونيوسم هيسمع التليفون بتاعنا. اوكي. فالرقم ده عايزينه ما يبطلش رن في مكتب الجفرنر. كلنا نتصل مره واثنين وثلاثه بس تقول I veto this bills AB 1078 AB 665 AB 957 SB 596 بس هما كلمتين.
I oppose. I oppose.
أو
this
I
one.
opposed. أو I
Veto.
vetoed. I vetoed.
No, you're asking
You're
him
asking
to
him
veto.
to veto.
Him to veto. Yes.
veto.
Please
him.
veto
I,
these
yeah.
bills.
I oppose this bill.
Sure.
Yeah. So, like هنا مكتوب أهو ask him to veto this bill. وأرقام البيل موجودة وادي التليفون أهو وزي ما قلنا الكيو ار كود هتنزله قناة لوجوس على الفيديو تعمل سكان بالكاميرا على الويب سايت وتعمل سكان وتخش وتبعت الايميل. Do you want to say anything about last screen?
Yeah, the last screen. Yeah, please just again
Same
follow
as the
Nicole
first
Pearson
one.
and Perk. Perk is the one who's provided all these pre-written emails
Yes.
that you can send out. Every link that we've had here is going to Perk. They are a valuable resource along with Facts, Law, Truth, Justice.
Very good. دي نفس السكرين الأولانية اللي فيها بيرك عشان مكتوب فيها الإيميل جاهز ومنه ندخل ونكتب بس اللي أنت محتاج تعمله تكتب اسمك وعنوانك وتبعت الإيميل. عايزين إيميل، عايزين تليفونات، عايزين نوصل صوتنا. طبعا I don't know how to thank you guys.
Hey, thank
We're
you.
gonna thank you. You're the one that gave us this platform and the opportunity, so thank you.
Yeah, and thank God for bringing us all together.
Yeah, we
This-
all in the same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a unifying movement.
Yes.
And I don't think the powers that be understood what they were doing.
Yes, yes. They made
That's
us all
great.
stand up.
Yeah.
They made us all
I'm so
stand up.
proud of it. Like
Yes,
when I
yeah.
see
It goes
Armenian,
beyond race, it goes beyond religion,
Armenian,
political party.
Egyptian, Jordanian. I'm from Indiana.
American, and we
all wanna
have
protect
Ben,
our
we have Manouk, we have a lot of, we have Sonia Shan, we have a lot of people
Yeah.
next to
Yes,
us.
yes.
Like we're not alone, and of course God with us.
Yes.
So احنا مش لوحدنا. كل الجنسيات بتحارب عشان ولادها. احنا مش اقل من اي جنسيه يعني احنا المصريين والعرب معروفين ان احنا فعلا وقت الشده بنظهر ودي وقت شده جامده قوي. ده مستقبل وحاضر مش لاولادنا ده للمجتمع كله.
صح.
يعني لازم كلنا نركز في مستقبل ولادنا ولازم نعمل اللي احنا قلنا عليه يا جماعه ويا ريت تنشروا الفيديو ده عشان اللي ما سمعش يسمع واللي ما عرفش يعرف. و للمرة الأخيرة أحب أشكر قناة لوجوس على ضيافتها لينا النهاردة وإن ادتنا الفرصة إن احنا عبر شاشة لوجوس برضو نوصل الكلام للمرة الثانية لكل مشاهدين لوجوس. وطبعا الأبديت هيبقى موجود، هنتابعكم بالأبديت وبرضو على صفحتي على ماي كيدز ماي رايت الجروب على قناه لوجو، على صفحه قناه لوجوس هننزل الكيو ار كود وهتلاقوا كل حاجه مكتوبه على الويبس على الفيديو. انا اسفه جدا عشان الاسئله اللي اتبعتت ما قدرناش نرد عليها، احنا تقريبا فاضل لنا دقيقه ولا دقيقتين، فاضل لنا قد ايه؟ دقيقتين تقريبا، 4 دقائق. ال4 دقائق دول فعلا محتاجين ان احنا كلنا نتحد، امريكان، عرب، مسيحيين، مسلمين، كلنا نبقى ايد واحده عشان مستقبل اولادنا، عشان مستقبل اولادنا. دلوقتي ما فيش وقت نقول انت مين وانا مين، في مستقبل وفي اطفال هتضيع. مش هنلاقي بكره نقول انا كذا ولا انا كذا لو الاطفال دي ضاعت. وشفنا خطوره الحاجات. الكتاب ده كارثه انه يتعلم لطفل عنده يعني 4-5 سنين واقول له انت اللي تختار انت حاسس بايه جواك، انت ولد ولا بنت. ده كارثه وموجود في المدارس. لو سمحتوا محتاجين كلنا نتحرك ونعمل اللي احنا اتفقنا عليه، كيو ار كود، تليفونات، صلاه. الصلاه مهمه جدا جدا. طبعا بطلب من كل اب وام يشتركوا معانا، حتى الشباب اللي هم الكبار اللي لسه ما اتجوزوش ادخلوا اعملوا. الشباب اللي في الهاي سكول، خلي ابنك وبنتك في الهاي سكول يخش يتصل ويبعت ايميل. حسسوهم بالمسؤوليه، المسؤوليه علينا كلنا، مسؤوليه على كل واحد فينا، مش على حد وحد لا. بشكركم جدا جدا جدا، وكنت مبسوطه جدا ان احنا كنا معاكم النهارده. وهاخد كلمه بسرعه كده. I need just one word advice last minute. Okay, start with Jordan.
Next week on Tuesday, September 26th, is a rally for parental rights. This is not political. This is purely about parental rights. It's in Simi Valley. You can go to any of our Instagrams and see information there.
We'll post the flyer.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
And then just speak the truth. We're on Logos TV. Logos is all about marriage of the truth with the word.
Oh, that's
and that is everything.
You did your study. Okay, good. Yes. So Jordan بيقول ان يوم الثلاث اللي جاي، النهارده الثلاث اللي جاي في يعني وقفه سلميه، وهننزل انفورميشن هبقى انزلها على الصفحه بتاعتي عشان البيرنتال رايتس. طبعا دي مش مظاهره ولا حاجه ولا بنعادي حد خالص، دي وقفه سلميه كلنا هنبقى موجودين هناك. لوسين.
My only advice would be to get involved with what Christine was saying, the caller that called in, exactly what she's doing. Get involved, go to your school board meetings, get a group of parents who are like-minded like you. I promise it's happening in every school. We're just not seeing it maybe to the levels that you're thinking, but the books are in every elementary school, if it's a public school system. Them lying to you about the kids changing pronouns, it's happening. You just don't know about it because that's how the system is designed. So get involved, go out, speak up. I've now joined 3 committees at my school that I didn't know about. There's local school leadership council, there's school site council, there is ELAC. So there's things on your specific campus that you could join. Is it time consuming? Yes. But is it worth it? Absolutely.
Yes,
so we can all make time.
Yes, thank you, Lucy.
Of course. Thank
لوسين
you.
بتقول انزلوا احضروا اجتماعات البورد بتاعت المدارس بتاعتكم، ما تسكتوش، اسمعوا ايه اللي بيتقال، حتى خدوا فكره ايه اللي بيجرى، بيشتكوا من ايه، ما بيشتكوش من ايه اللي بيحصل في الديستريكت بتاعتك. ما تقعدوش، اعرفوا امتى كل ديستريكت بتعمل meeting I think once a month or twice a month.
School board is twice a month.
twice a month. اعرف السكول بورد بتاعتك امتى الميتنج بتاعها وانزلوا روحوا احضروا، بس احضروا. هتلاقوا ناس زي لوسين هناك بتفايت عشان ولادنا نوريهم السبورت ليها. اوكي، لوسين بتحضر كل البورد ميتنج وبتتكلم، وطبعا هي بقت اشهر دلوقتي بتحارب في الديستريكت LAUSD لوس انجلوس سكول ديستريكت عشان ولادها. بتسي
ممكن اي واحد فينا يقول انه انا بعرفش، مش عارفه ايش اقول، مش عارفه ايش اعمل. الصغير القليل اللي بنعرفه نوصله لاصحابنا لاهالينا، القليل اللي بنقدر نعمل عليه نقدر عليه نعمله
على الأقل.
كلنا مع بعض هنعمل مفعول، والرب معانا.
رب معانا. زي ما بتسي بتقول اقل حاجه نعملها ان احنا نقول للي حوالينا، اعملوا شير للفيديو وكلموا كل حد تعرفوه، حتى لو مش مصري مش عربي، جيرانكم في الابارتمنت بيلدينج، هندي صيني، روح كلمه وقول له في مشكله عشان ولادنا اعمل كذا كذا كذا. انا عارفه ان احنا بنعرف نتواصل كويس قوي مع جيراننا لما نبقى عايزين نسال على حاجه. دي مش حاجه عايزين نسال عليها، ده مستقبل وحاضر وكل حاجه، دول ولادنا. شكرا جدا ان انتوا كنتوا معانا النهارده، واحنا كنا معاكم مبسوطين جدا ان احنا كنا على شاشه قنوات لوجوس. اذكرونا في صلاتكم، وكلنا لازم نصلي المواضيع دي. كنت مبسوطه جدا وانا معاكم النهارده. داليا شحاتة، شكرا واتمنى اشوفكم قريب.
لوجوس تي في. أن نحضر كل إنسان